Here's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about your certificate. There's some information that you have to be aware of on your certificate. Your permit. I'm going to give you some information on your permit. I'm going to tell you where all the road test areas are in Staten Island in case you're considering taking it in Staten Island. I mean, you can take it anywhere in New York State, but I'm going to let you know where they are in Staten Island because, you know. I'm going to let you know where they are in Staten Island because, you know. All right, everybody's back. No, a couple of people are missing. I need everybody put their camera back on, their video back on, please. All right, everybody's back. No, a couple of people are missing. All right, just first, if you need to ask a question, just unmute yourself and say it and then talk. All right, this video I'm going to show you, this first one is about seatbelts, how important seatbelt is. It's going to show you how to put a baby seat in the car. And then I have a couple other videos after that. And then I'm going to give you a couple little tricky things that these examiners can test you with after these videos. A lot of people fail for these things because they're not aware of it as far as school bus regulations and fire hydrants and all that stuff. So I'm going to tell you some stuff you need to know to help you pass, and then we'll be done. All right, so here's your first one. They're all about, maybe altogether is about 30 minutes of videos, okay? All right, everybody sees the screen, right? Everybody's good?
Yes.
Yes, I'm good.
All right, thank you.
Yep. I can see the screen.
Okay. Here we go. Would you please take me along, please? Can you help me out here, Stephanie? I'm a little lost. I thought you didn't even call. What time are we supposed to be there? We're late. Do you want to stop and go up someone? Pray to write it.
Yeah, that would probably be a good idea. If we hit something hard inside the evacuation compartment, we may do more force than he does.
One way we learn more about what happens in crashes is by running vehicle crash tests. Right now, we're in the final stages of getting this car ready for a test. It's going to hit a barrier at 30 miles an hour, and the impact is going to happen very quickly. Then we'll go back and look at slow motion film that lets us see exactly what happened in the crash. This car is going 30 miles an hour.
And everything inside it is moving at the same speed. When the car first contacts the barrier,
The occupant compartment doesn't stop immediately because the front end of the car is crushing and absorbing energy. This happens in a fraction of a second. But people can still be protected if they're restrained. If they're not, they continue moving at 30 miles an hour until they slam into something like the steering wheel, dashboard, or windshield. People get injured in crashes because they come to a stop too fast.
when there's plenty of time to slow down, like during braking,
They don't get injured But when they slam into something hard, they stop very fast, and injuries can occur. Safety belts and airbags together offer the best protection in frontal crashes. They allow people to slow down with the occupant compartment. Airbags also spread the crash forces over the upper body and reduce the risk of serious head and chest injury. Safety belts protect people in non-frontal crashes too. Plus, they prevent ejection. And if there are violent maneuvers before a crash, belts keep people in their seats where they need to be for airbag protection. To get the maximum benefits, you need to do more than just buckle up. It also matters how you buckle up and where you sit.
First, the lap part of the belt should fit as low as possible over your hips. Don't let it ride up over your stomach. If it does ride up over your stomach, which can happen, especially with bench seats, the belt itself could injure you during a crash. The shoulder belt should fit comfortably. If it rubs against your neck, check to see if it can be adjusted. You might also try adjusting the seat for a more comfortable fit. If this doesn't work, still use your shoulder belt. Don't ever put it behind you or under your arm. And don't let anybody else, including children, do this. A driver should position the seat as far away from the steering wheel as is comfortable for driving. The more distant, the less chance that your face will hit the steering wheel in a crash. And keep in mind, this can happen in a severe crash, even if you're using a safety belt. An airbag gives additional upper body restraint and can keep your face from hitting the steering wheel. But remember that a crash is over in a fraction of a second, so the airbag has to inflate very fast. They look like soft pillows in slow motion, but when they begin inflating, there's considerable force behind them. Ideally, you want the bag to fully inflate before you contact it. This is another reason to move your seat back as far as it's comfortable, away from the path of an inflating airbag. Once it's inflated, it provides an energy-absorbing buffer as it deflates. Something else to remember is not to drive with your arm across the steering wheel. The reason is the same as why you sit back and away from an airbag. The initial inflation force can be enough to break your arm. Toward the end of a serious frontal crash, people rebound backwards toward the seat, and then their head restraints can be important. The primary purpose of these is to protect the head and neck in a rear impact, but head restraint can also catch your head and prevent injury during rebound. A head restraint should be directly behind and very close to the back of your head. If your head restraint isn't fixed in place, adjust it so that it's behind and as close to the back of your head as possible. This way, it can protect you in both front and rear impacts. So far, we've been focusing on the best protection for drivers, and most of it applies to adult passengers too. Then there are some different steps for children. Ideally, infants and young children should always ride in the rear, where the risk of injury is lower. If there's a passenger airbag, rear-facing restraints should never be placed up front, because if the airbag inflates, it can hit the back of the restraint with enough force to seriously injure the baby. When infants graduate to child seats, they should still ride in back. Make sure the restraint is tightly secured to the vehicle with a safety belt, and the child is buckled in too. When children get too big for their child restraints, they may use booster seats to raise them up and get a better fit into an adult safety belt. Or a child may be big enough to use an adult belt without a booster. Just be sure the lap belt fits low across the hips and the shoulder portion is comfortable. Don't ever put a shoulder belt behind a child or under the arm. Remember, the rear seat is still the safest. Only if there's no choice should a child ride up front. And if there's a passenger airbag, it's very important to remember that the force of an inflating airbag can cause injuries. So move the vehicle seat back as far as it will go to keep the child away from the airbag. And for the same reason, don't let a child sit forward on the edge of the seat like some kids want to do. And Remember this especially. Never place an infant restraint up front if there's a passenger airbag. Riding unrestrained has always been the biggest hazard for both children and adults. Safety belts and airbags are saving lives and preventing serious injuries. If you take these few extra steps, you'll be in a position to get the maximum benefits from your restraint. So remember the basics. Buckle up properly. Sit back so you're away from the steering wheel and airbag. Check your head restraint. And make sure infants and children are restrained properly in rear seats. Making sure everyone is effectively restrained is the best way to reduce your risks in the crash.
All right, now this video coming up here, this is called a virtual driver, where you're going to be driving a car down the street and they're going to ask you questions about the road. Some of the questions are very easy and some are a little tricky. Let's see how alert everybody is. A little louder, hold on.
Ready to go? Great. This is called the virtual driver, where you'll be tested on how well you respond to your surroundings. As you always should, be sure to pay close attention to what's happening all around your vehicle. All right, let's drive.
I'm going to show you a little scene that I'm going to ask you a question about it, A, B, C, or D. If you think the first one is very easy, if you think you know the answer, just unmute it and just give me the answer if you know. This one's easy though.
Now keep an eye on everything that's going on, and be prepared to answer a question about what you witnessed.
All right, so here's the question. What hazard did you notice as the car approached the stop sign? Anybody have any answer?
Use the blinker. He didn't stop.
He didn't stop.
So the answer is, right?
Oh, we can't see. I can't.
Vehicle ahead rolled through stop sign. That's right. This one's very easy.
Good job. The vehicle ahead failed to come to a complete stop at the stop sign.
Let me ask you this question. If an examiner told, as you're going down the street, if an examiner said to you, I need you to make a right turn at the next corner, how many feet before the corner are you required to put a turn signal on by law?
2 to 3.
How much?
2 to 3.
23?
2 to 3 feet.
2 to 3 feet? No. This is another
You have
thing.
to do it right when he says it.
No.
300 feet away.
I got 100.
Wait,
100.
100 feet. 100 feet.
100 is correct. Who said 100?
Me.
Right, 100 feet is correct. The law states you must put a turn signal 100 feet from a corner. Now, how do you know what 100 feet is? You know 100 feet.
You take out a tape measure.
Guesstimate.
Well,
It's about a block away.
no, you can't. Some blocks is, if you take the test in Lenabon, a block is 600 feet long.
Oh,
And you can't do it when the examiner tells you, because sometimes they tell you as you go into the turn, they'll say, when you get all the way down there, make a right. And that could be hundreds of feet away. So the law states 100 feet. They watch for that on the test. 100 feet is about 6 to 8 cars from the corner park. So you have to estimate 6 to 8 cars. So when you're driving around these days, look to see what the length of 6 cars parked is, and keep that in your mind, because a lot of these road test areas, there's no cars parked. They expect you to know that 100 feet. Otherwise, you lose points if you put it on at the wrong time. All right, next
It's a
video.
huge error that could lead to a serious collision. Never roll through a stop sign.
This next one is something we talked about.
Okay, moving along in our drive.
All right, both of these cars stop at the same time. Who goes first?
The car on the right.
Right, so the answer
On
is
the right.
Right, they go first because they're on the right side. That's correct.
Oh, them.
You both stop at the same time.
That's right.
And remember, never stop like this. You see what his line is?
Yes.
Remember, you got to stop 1 to 3 feet before it. Not like that. That would be an automatic fail.
When two cars stop at a four-way intersection at the same time, the vehicle on the right has the right-of-way.
Now, this next one is very difficult. Very few people have ever gotten this.
Okay, keep watching closely.
Remember, look at everything. All right, that's it. Question is, what was the posted speed limit? There was a big speed limit sign on the right.
It was
hard
blurry.
to see. Yeah,
Yeah.
you couldn't see it.
Couldn't see it was there. It's big.
No, I saw the
No,
sign. I
it's
just couldn't see
blurry.
what it
Couldn't see the
said.
number. It's
Exactly.
really blurry on the
What it said.
screen.
Oh, you couldn't see it?
No.
What do you think it was?
I want to say 30.
45.
All right, wait. I heard 30 first. Let's try 30.
No.
No, that's not the right answer. Watch it again and see if you notice the speed limit this time.
It's a dirty glass. Look at all the fingerprints. See it?
It's
Yeah,
so
okay.
blurry.
It's so blurry you can't make it out.
No, we can see.
It is hard.
see.
We can't speak.
Is it
Really
45?
blurry.
I'll stop it where
You
it
were
is.
really paying attention.
It is hard to see, though.
The posted speed limit was 35 miles per hour. Always be aware of this.
See it right there?
Don't want to speed.
Mike.
Blurry for me, too. But there it is, 35.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's a
you
bad.
couldn't make it
yeah,
out.
You can't really see that.
This car that they were in is all fingerprints on the window. Been a mess.
All right, keep your eyes open on this next one.
Don't look at those arms. There's something dangerous taking place here. What's the danger?
Car turning right. I don't know. Car turning left.
No.
Car's gonna cross the yellow line.
No. There's something dangerous going on. That car that was waiting to make a left turn. They're okay. They're in the
Play it
lead.
again.
They didn't use a blanket.
No.
Play it again, please.
They're going too fast.
Can't redo this one. The answer is D. The car behind us was too close. Look in the rearview mirror. Look in the rearview mirror. See how close this car is.
Yeah, he was riding the. Yeah.
That car behind us was traveling way too close.
Look.
If we would have had to brake,
Oh,
it probably would have reached
If you
yeah, I
could,
see that.
if you could look in the mirror and see that whole girl's face, you know that's too close.
us. All right, let's move along.
This one's a little tricky. Which turn signal does the rear car have on, and which one does the front car have on?
Oh, the front has the right and the back is the
Why
left.
You're saying the car in front is the right and the back one is the left?
Mm-hmm.
The other answer?
I agree.
All right, the answer is C. They don't have their right signal on. See, what you see in a mirror, you think is opposite, but it's really not opposite.
Excellent job.
You see, this car has the right signal, and the car behind us is in exactly the same position behind this car. Here's the signal, here's the white line, signal, white line. Yellow line is next to the driver, yellow line is the driver. So both cars have their right signal on.
Both vehicles were signaling for a right turn.
What you see in the mirror is not opposite.
Now we're traveling on a multi-lane road, so there's even more going on around you. Be on the lookout and ready to answer some questions.
Lucky one of the.
Don't think too heavy into this. It's not a crazy question. They're going to ask you, what did that truck just do?
Change lane without a signal.
He didn't turn his signals on.
Without a signal, yeah.
Oh, Greg, you're right, but he did put the signal on. I'll show you the signal. The answer is A, vehicle to the rear, pass us in the left lane. Yeah, I'll show you the signal. Look.
That's correct. A vehicle to the rear
Oh.
and began passing us.
I barely see that though.
Yeah, it's hard to see right now. He's only put it on for a second.
Stay focused as we move on to another
This one is very important. If you mess this one up, you could be killed.
scenario.
Remember, always look at everything. All right, here's the question. There was 2 traffic lights right in front of us. What color? What kind of lights were they? Anybody see the traffic lights?
I didn't see it.
Well, what are you looking at? The trees?
So the screen went out for a minute. We was looking at somebody's picture for a minute.
Yeah,
whoever doesn't have their thing
their
muted,
phone on
it
mute.
shows their picture.
Show their picture.
Yes. Everybody put it on mute unless you got an answer. Nobody saw the whole view?
No.
All right. It was actually, I'll show you what it is. It was actually B. There was 2 flashing yellow lights. Yeah, I'll show you.
You're
So
right on
2
the money.
flashing yellows.
When approaching an intersection controlled by flashing yellow lights, slow down and proceed with caution. Cross traffic is controlled by flashing red lights and or stop signs. Okay, this next one's going to be a little more difficult.
Anybody see the light at the corner?
C.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. See, there was a yellow light at the corner, and the car behind us was changing lanes. That's right.
You're good.
See, it's
The
green,
light had changed from green to yellow,
and it went to
the
yellow,
vehicle behind us had moved.
and that's actually where they stopped the film. At that
Yeah.
Okay, quickly moving along.
All right, here's a question. We're getting on the highway. There's a car right next to us exiting, and we're side by side. Who has the right to go first? Should we speed up and get in front of them to get on the highway, or should we slow down and let them get in front of us?
We have to
Slow down.
Slow down and let them go.
Let them go. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. You always have to, the car that's exiting always has a right to over the car entering.
Mm-hmm.
So they would expect us to go a little bit, plus we had a yield sign too if you saw it on the side. Yeah, so they have a right to go first. That's right.
That's right. Vehicles exiting the expressway always have the right of way over vehicles entering the expressway. All right, let's be on the lookout as we continue along the expressway.
All right, there's a car traveling in the truck's blind spot, a very dangerous spot. Anybody, the answer is going to be either A or B, the left lane car or the right lane car to the truck.
The left lane.
Left lane.
The left lane is in a bad spot?
The left lane, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. That's good. You're right. A lot of people don't even see that left lane car. That's right.
Yes, that's it.
This car right here is in a very bad spot. If that truck looked in a mirror, they wouldn't see that car. It would look like an empty space, and if the truck was going to change lanes, you'd be dead. They can see this car. This car's far in the back. This car's all right. But so whenever you're driving near a truck or even any vehicle, always stay behind it or in front of it, but never next to it on either side because they can't see you in that mirror. Dangerous spot. Blind spot.
The car in the left lane is dangerously traveling in the truck driver's blind spot.
And that's why anytime you change lanes, like if this car was going to change lanes, You look in the mirror and you turn your head over your left shoulder because there could be a car right next to you right here that you won't even see it in that mirror. It'll look like an empty space and it'll be a car right next to you. And that's right or left side.
Avoid this at all times, or the truck driver could unknowingly cause a serious accident involving you. Okay, let's keep moving along.
All right, listen, let me tell you about this one. If you don't get this one, I hate to say this, but there's just no hope for you. Right? So you got to get this one, please. All right, that's it. Question is, what was the speed limit?
45.
45.
Oh, we all saw that.
45.
Everybody saw 40. If you,
45.
yeah, it's as big as the earth. How are you going to miss that sign? That's right.
Exactly. You should always be aware of road construction signs in order to begin slowing down at the appropriate time. Fines are doubled and lives are at risk in construction zones. It's time to venture through a parking lot.
All right, you see this car backing out? The question is, who has the right to go first? Should they
The car.
have the right to go first? Or do they have a right to go in front of us?
That's right.
Yeah, they're right.
Oh. So, we have the
What?
right.
Backing
What?
in. I know. Us. We have right of way.
That's right. We have the right of way. That's right. Because we're going straight. The car that's going straight always has the right of way of a car merging. What they should have done is they came out a little bit. Should have came out a little bit.
Well, this is a tricky
And
one.
then stopped and
exactly
looked.
why you should always drive slowly and cautiously through a parking lot. We actually have the right
See?
of way.
They should have came out to about here and stopped. And then watch and see if they see us coming towards them. They're supposed to wait for us. But, people do that all the time anyway. They correct them.
Obviously don't want to hit someone backing out. So, when you encounter something like this, slow down and stop as necessary. The driver may notice you and pull back into the spot to let you pass, or they may continue to back out, so you'll want to leave adequate space between your vehicle and theirs in order to avoid a collision.
Right, there's 3 more of these.
Okay, we're on our way back to where we began the day, but we have to make a quick stop.
All right, here's a question. We're parked uphill. We're facing up a hill. Which way do you turn the front tires so that in case something happens and the car starts rolling backwards, it doesn't roll back to the street?
Right.
Here's your
Say
choice.
what?
Which way do you turn the front tires if you're
To
rolling
the
back?
left.
Towards the
To the
curb.
right. To the right.
To the right.
You turn the wheels towards the curb, you're saying? To the right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anybody say away from the curb?
No.
All right, the answer is away from the curb.
Oh,
sugar.
You got there right, Greg. You be all
Yes,
right.
you should turn your wheels away from the curb.
Away.
Should your brakes fail, the front tire will curb to prevent
Oh, will prevent you from sliding that. Yeah, to another time.
Just don't park it nowhere.
We're almost there, but until we are, remain focused.
Anybody see speed limit?
35. I couldn't make it out, but it looked like 35.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's right. All right. What's this car's doing something wrong? What's wrong? Kind of turn.
It's running out into another lane to make a turn.
Yeah, that was a wide one.
Yeah,
Crossing the
wide turn.
double lane.
Double line.
That's a ridiculous turn. That's like a truck turn.
Really?
For real.
Vehicle ahead of us makes a wide turn into the
I mean,
parking
look, come on, that's ridiculous.
This is a driving
A little
test
car
that
like
is
that.
completely unnecessary.
Oh.
Keep your turn simple and stay in your lane. We've made it back to where we were tonight. But before you go, take a look at our 2 attempts to park perpendicularly between 2 cars. Which of these 2 approaches is most likely to result in a successful parking attempt?
The bottom one.
Because there's more space.
One at the bottom, there's more space. He's cutting it close at the top.
Yes, cutting close.
I agree.
Yes, The bottom one does give us the best chance because we have adequate room to make the turn into the parking space. The top attempt is unsuccessful because we didn't have adequate space to make the turn. This will result in failed attempts and possible collisions with parked cars.
Although they got it.
Careful.
If they went a little more, they got it. It's a bad example. But
Virtual driver, I hope that you've done well by paying close attention to your surroundings. If you haven't done very well, I recommend that you watch this part of the program again to sharpen your visual searching skills. After all, being aware of your surroundings is one of the most important parts of driving.
hang on 1 second. Don't go nowhere. I just got to do. Hold on a minute. Let me put the light on. Hold on. All right, now let me ask you something. These are a couple of tricks that you might encounter on the road test, and they're very easy things, but a lot of people are not aware of these things. Let me tell you about school buses. You're behind a school bus on a road test, and the yellow lights are flashing on the school bus. Can you go around it, or you can't go around it?
No, you cannot.
Go around it.
No.
You cannot go around it.
You can't go around it.
You can't?
You cannot.
You cannot.
Yes, you can.
Why they got a yellow light and a red light if it's the same law for both?
Because you gotta
This is
slow
just-
down.
You gotta slow down.
Oh, slow down because they're gonna.
And then that means the stop sign's about to come out on there too.
Right, that's right. The yellow light is a caution light. That means you could go around it slowly and cautiously, but, slow. That's what a yellow light flashes. Now, once the red light starts flashing and the stop sign comes out, then you can't go. Now, if that happens on a test, how many feet behind that bus are you required to stop by law?
75.
75? Nope.
Nope.
100.
20.
30 feet.
What do you say? The law says you must stop 20 feet behind that.
20.
I was
Yeah.
close.
That's
Oh,
That's
20
30.
feet.
Yeah, I got it right. 20. Yeah.
2 car lengths back. And that's true even if the bus is on this side of the street and you're coming the opposite direction. You must stop 20 feet from the front of it if you're on the opposite side of the street. 20. And if you stop less than 20, it's an automatic fail. All right? Don't stop. So if you got a school bus in front of you on this road test, don't drive 20 feet behind it because you don't know when it's going to stop. It could just stop real quick and you're going to be too close. And let me back up, a little bit. No, you already made the error. So if you have a school in front of you, stay way down the street. This way you can watch it and see what it's doing up ahead. All right, don't go too close to it. All right. Now, what if the examiner told you to go, if the stop sign comes out and the examiner on the road test told you to go around the stop sign slowly and cautiously, should you do it?
No.
No.
Tell you to go
No.
past the stop sign?
Yes.
And I'm reporting him or her.
And the answer is they do not have the authority to do it. So if they tell you to do it, it's a trick. Don't do it. Don't do it. But you got to say to them, I'm sorry, according to the law, you don't have the authorization to tell me to pass a stop sign. Because they'll ask you, why are you not listening to me? You have to say, according to the law, you can't authorize me to pass a stop sign on a school bus. And they'll be, oh, that's very good, you know the law. But there's actually...
Construction workers?
Fire.
The bus
Uh,
driver.
Social worker.
EMT.
The bus driver.
And construction workers?
Oh yeah, that's a good. Who said that?
Naya.
Yeah. A flagger.
Yeah, the flag guy.
A flag.
Okay.
This is do by law. Well,
Jesus.
fire.
Crossing guard.
I said a firefighter.
A crossing guard.
The firefighter.
Crossing guard.
Yeah, that's so good. Crossing guard. Who? Crossing guard. And who else? There's two more.
Paramedics.
Yes. Well, let me tell you about ambulance. A paramedic for an ambulance, there's a little restriction to that. A paramedic has to be from a fire department ambulance. All right? It has to say fire department on their uniform. A paramedic or an EMT worker that comes out of a private ambulance or an ambulance or a hospital. And who else? There's one more. You got police, fire, ambulance, crossing guard, flagger, the bus driver of that bus, and who's the last one? Anyone know? Who?
The president.
All right, the last one.
Is what?
Traffic officer, like the one who's driving around giving tickets out. In those
Yeah.
little towns. Or sometimes you see them at certain corners directing traffic. Number one, the police, fire, ambulance, traffic officer, crossing guard, flagger, and the bus driver. Those are the people that can order you to go around a stop if it's extended on a school bus. And if that's happened on road tests where the examiner will ask you that, I mean, they can ask you questions. You know, they won't fail you if you don't know, but they could tell you go back and read your manual. You know, so it's good to know those answers too, just in case. All right. Now the next thing is,
So are they allowed to trick you?
well, if you know everything in the manual, nothing could be a trick. That's how they look at it. Because they're not tricking you. If you know the right answer, there's never a trick. And they expect you to know everything in a manual from cover to cover.
And all of the stuff we went over today is in the manual, correct?
Actually, 3 pages on that in the book.
Everything that we went over today is in the manual, correct?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
All the stuff. And this next question, this happens almost every road test, right? And I bet you we have, how many people we have? 56 people. I bet you all you will fail for this, all right? And this is very important. If you're driving on a road test and the examiner tells you to park, what if you're driving down the street and they go, all right, park with that blue car over there. And you notice that when you're going to back into the parking spot, there's a fire hydrant that's going to be right next to the door of your car. Should you do it or not do it?
You can't do it.
No, you cannot
Not
park
do
in
it.
front of block up fire hydrant.
Can't.
Not do it. Has to be 6 feet
Would
away.
anybody do it?
But can't you do it because you're not staying there? Like
Take
you're
that
actually parking there
parking.
for just the test.
So what are you going to say? What answer are you going to go with?
I think you
No.
can.
I think you can.
No,
I think you can.
I think you could.
You can as long as you're in the car.
Car, yeah, I think you can.
So you're not staying there. You're doing it just for the test.
Let me tell you what the answer. Look, Rosemary, she laughed. Let me tell you. The answer is, a few of you got it, but most of you didn't get it. The answer is you must do it.
Do it, yeah.
Oh,
See,
really?
yeah.
We was right.
You
I
don't
knew that.
do it, you fail. Because
Yep.
it says you can't do what? You can't park at a fire
You
hydrant.
can't park. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But as long as there's a licensed driver in the car, that's called standing. And standing
right.
is allowed by a fire hydrant. As long as there's a licensed driver in the car.
Yeah, but what if there's a sign that says no standing?
Right, that too.
Ah, smart one.
There's no standing signs by themselves, but there's no standing signs by fire hydrants. Just this.
Okay.
Okay, so not that smart.
But if it says no standing, don't do it. But I never saw that before. But at
Okay.
a fire hydrant, if they tell you to do it, you got to do it. You got to do it. Because standing is allowed by a fire hydrant. And they catch a lot of people in that. A lot of people think, and they say, well, I can't do that. That's illegal. And then they wind up, you fail for that. So they tell you to do it by a fire hydrant, you do it. Now, if you have to park by a fire hydrant, like in real life, and leave the car there, how many feet away does your car have to be from the hydrant?
75 feet.
30.
6 feet.
75 feet.
100.
50 feet.
6 feet away.
How many?
15.
6 feet away.
That's right. Your car must be at least 15 feet away from a hydrant.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure you've seen a lot of cars closer than that. 10 feet, 6 feet. People take chances because there's no press. And you can get a big ticket. We can get your car towed away too. I've seen them tow cars away if they can.
Yep.
So 15 feet away. All right, that's the law. All right, a lot of people don't know. I got that wrong. All right, now let me show you something. This paper here is your certificate. You see this book, this thing? It's going to be a white piece of paper. There's two copies. There's a white and a blue. This is our copy, the blue. It's like a greenish color. Yours is going to be the white copy on top of this. When you get this, you have to sign it right here on the bottom, where it says signature of student. That's where you got to sign it as soon as you get it. This is what you got to bring to the test. And like I said earlier, they won't let you take the test.
And you said don't fold it up, right?
Try not to. If you have to fold it, maybe once like that. If you got to fold it, maybe
all
once.
Right.
But if you don't have to, don't keep it nice. Then, and definitely don't just smash it up in your pocket like that. Because if you bring it all smashed up, all balled up, they'll say, this is an official document. What do you do? They get it. They take offense to stuff. Keep it nice like that. If you have to, remember, you got to sign it right here. If you bring it to them unsigned, they're not going to do it. And let me tell you another thing. The signature on this form has to match the signature on your permit. All right? So the way you sign your permit, make sure you try to make it the same way. Don't make it different. All right? Because they have to match. Because they're going to compare the two of them. All right? So make sure. Usually you sign this in person in the class here. But, they changed the whole process of that now. So make sure you sign it. Make sure it looks exactly like the one on your permit. And then you bring this to the road test. This is the certificate number on the top. This is the one you have to enter into the computer thing, including the letter. There's always a letter and numbers.
Okay.
That's the number you got to put to make the road test one. If you're doing it yourself, if you're doing it, then we just, we have copies of it. All right, that's the way we're looking. Again, they're going to mail it out tomorrow, and they mail it to your address on a permit, and you'll get it in a few days, I guess.
So do you know if I can come in and pay the $60 tomorrow and you guys can start scheduling the road test before I get the certificate, or I need the certificate first?
No, they can do it, but the only thing is they're closed tomorrow. Just close.
On Monday they open.
So Monday, right?
Yeah, you got to do it. Yeah, Monday. Now, you all came here yesterday, Guyan Avenue, right? In about 2 weeks, we're opening up a new office. We have one on Delafield Avenue down by the zoo. But
it was closed.
Yeah, it was closed.
We're opening up a new office on Forest Avenue and Broadway. You know where the McDonald's is?
Yeah.
Forest and Broadway?
Yeah. Forest and Broadway. Across the street next to City MD. There's City MD.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
There's like a florist and we're next.
Yep, right there.
Yeah. That'll be open in a few weeks, but it's not open yet. We still have to get approval on it. But it's already, we're renting it already. But so in a few weeks you'll be able to go there instead of to do the transactions that come in here. That's all.
So what about like on the website where it says like schedule a road test and like you see different people on there that you could look on their schedule to see when they're available?
You schedule a lesson.
No, it says for road test. Like when you press on the website and you press schedule a road test and it show you like different people that are available and their timings. How does that work?
The booking, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. You sure you're not on schedule a lesson?
Nope. It says so like suppose I press lessons and then under it says road test. Now when I press road test, it comes down to a menu where it says book now and then it brings you.
Maybe it's for rent the car.
So it's allowing you to pick your instructor.
It's showing you the instructors with the school. Those are not examiners. It's two different things. I don't know. I'm not into their website stuff that they have here. You call Monday and yesterday, but that's probably just the instructors of the school.
Okay.
I got a question. Do you guys just do like classes for parking, parallel parking, and K-turns?
Yeah, everything.
Okay. I just need work on my parallel. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, listen. You paying the money. It's an hour lesson. You tell them, listen, all I want to do is K-turns and parking. I don't want to do nothing else because I got everything else down. That's what they'll do. All
right, that's all I need to hear. Thank you.
Any other questions about it? Sorry for the late start, but it's a new system, and I'm not even used to this screen either. I'm used to I got a whole classroom here with 50 seats empty. If you have any questions about anything, you'd always call the school, 718-980-1400. The number is also going to be on the certificate, too. Do you have any questions about anything?
That's it.
Everybody good?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Everybody had a good, nice space there.
It was actually pretty good. It was not bad.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Have a good day, y'all.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Good luck to
See you. Have a
everybody.
good day.
Peace.
Good luck. Yes, good luck, y'all.
Thank you all.
Thank you, everybody.
See you.
Thank you. Have a nice weekend.
You too.